Well, I'm currently leaning up against this monument here, which marks the Geographic Center of the contiguous 48 United States. Now that means I'm going to be in Lebanon, Kansas, specifically 2.5 miles away from Lebanon, Kansas. And this is where they have decided the Geographic Center of the contiguous 48 states are. That's not including Alaska or Hawaii. Now there are a couple of cool things to see around here. First of all, of course, you've got the marker that notes the actual point. More about that in a second. But there's also, well, there's a pavilion here. That's right, if you want to have lunch at the center of the United States, there is a little picnic shed here as well. There's also a grill that you can bring your own charcoal things to grill outside. And hey, there's even a playground of sorts for the kiddos. But I've got one more thing, it's a little bit out of the ordinary I want to show you here. The site also features this incredibly small chapel here. Seating looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. So you can say that you've attended a sermon or a church here at the Geographic Center of the United States. You can get married here if you want to. I don't know how we go about signing up for that sort of thing, but this really is the fine house. So between the chapel behind me, the pavilion over here, and the actual marker back there, there's not a huge area to see, but definitely worth saying you stood in the dead center of the contiguous 48 states. Now, I said more about that in a minute. The actual 48 states center is about a half mile away, but it's on a private pig farm, so you can't really have access to it. Even more so if you want to get a little picky about it. The measurement was done by making a cardboard cutout of the United States and seeing where it balanced. And this is where they came up with. Now we're within about a 20-mile radius or so of this spot, but this seems to be the agreed upon place and has been since 1918. Still, great place to visit. Kind of a quirky, weird thing to see just off of the highway going south to Lebanon, Kansas. A little bit of a turnoff, a mile or so later, and here we are, middle of nowhere. Well, this doesn't mean I'm in Kansas. There are some cool things to see in Kansas, so let's get moving and see what else we can find. Welcome to Cawker City, Kansas. It's a small, unassuming town of 460 people. And one very famous resident right behind me here is the world's largest ball of twine. Why am I here? Here's some twine B-roll. Twine ball. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, the world's biggest ball of twine, so says Cawker City. It's actually contested by a few other spots, one of which is the famous one in Minnesota. It's been famous by the Weird Al song. But this one is the world's largest community-made ball of twine. Started by Frank Stober before he passed away in 1974. It's been continued on since then with a twine-a-thon held every August. Locals are encouraged to add their own twine to the ball and make this even bigger, as are visitors as well. But they only allow genuine sisal twine, which if you don't have, they'll provide for you free of charge. Something called the bell of the ball. I don't know where that is or what that is. If you want to come add some twine to the ball, as I saw a couple of people doing when I walked up, you are more than welcome to here in this quirky little roadside attraction. It's actually kind of impressive and really strange. It's just on the side of a main street. So I dig it. This is bizarre, and just down the road from Lebanon, Kansas, the center of the U.S. See one, come see the other. Biggest ball of twine. It's gonna be hard to top this in Kansas. Let's go find out what we can see in Kansas. Also, don't you just love how it's all dressed up for Halloween back there? That's great. Whatever. This is bizarre. Alright, Lucas, Kansas, let's see what you got. Lucas, Kansas is the folk art capital of Kansas. Folk art? Not fork art. Folk art capital of Kansas. Don't know why that's there, but it's there. Well, they have so many weird things, like the Garden of Eden, which I covered in a different video, and there's also the world's largest things incorporated. More about that in the future. I'd like to come back to that. They're closed today. But there's so many visitors that come to see all the unique art here. They had a very unique problem. Where do they use the restroom? Well, Lucas, Kansas swooped into the rescue and made this. This is the world-renowned Toilet Bowl Plaza. It is a working public restroom. Right through those doors there, there's a men's and women's restroom. We are shaped like a giant toilet bowl. I'm currently sitting on the seat right now. I just realized that as I'm talking right now. Woo. And the walkway is, of course, a giant unspooled roll of toilet paper, because why wouldn't it be? You can tell behind me that door looks like a toilet lid, and the tank behind it. I don't know or want to know what this little thing on the ground is. It's got eyes, though. Oh, thank goodness it's a dog. Well, with ornate murals on the outside and the inside, not all the way inside, they didn't film there, that'd be gross. This is definitely a must stop. If you're on a long road trip like I am, spoiler alert, yes, I used it because I'm on a road trip. And why wouldn't you? You come all this way. Here it is. There's some other odd folk art all around it. You see kind of behind me. Definitely one of the weirder things I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. I'm going slowly insane on this little road trip of bizarre things. Off to the next one. Well, welcome to Wilson, Kansas. This is the Czech capital of Kansas, and it of course features the world's largest painted Czech egg. At 20 feet tall and 15 feet wide, this is the largest Czech egg to celebrate the Czech heritage found in this town. And it's just a town of 780 people, but they were able to find and make everything here locally sourced. A little bit of hometown pride here. It is pretty massive. I saw this thing from, well, at least a mile or two away, just all of a sudden, you know, it was part of the skyline of this town. That's how big this is. So, 20 feet tall doesn't sound like a lot till you get up next to it, and this thing is massive. Kansas sure finds a lot of ways to have some fun between this and all the other sites I'm seeing on this trip. This is nuts. I love it. It's phenomenal. This is just like, I'm really glad I made the trip out here for this. There's your reference. Well, that's the Czech Egg. Didn't know it was here. Definitely impressive. So, well, off to the next weird thing. Well, after a long couple of days of traveling around the weirdness of Kansas, I've decided to pop up into Nebraska, because if you're going to relax, you need to stop by Hebron, Nebraska to see, well, a site that's rather something to behold. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the world's largest porch swing. Located just across the street from the Hebron Volunteer Fire Department, the swing itself, hanging from an irrigation pole, measures 32 feet in length from end to end. I think it's currently uncontested in the Guinness World Records book, so it holds the record, and nobody's proven otherwise, as the sign will tell you. It's quite a proud achievement of Hebron here. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to have a seat right in the middle, and let's see if this is how comfy this thing is. Yeah, that's really nice. It swings super easy, super comfortable. I need to get 15 other adults on here. I mean, if you're gonna do weird stuff, do weird, comfortable stuff. To do it right. Why is this out here? Well, why not? As the Midwest seems to ask, and all these odd roadside attractions that are just so much fun to pull off and see. Is it worth it to pull off in Hebron to sit in this big porch swing? Go for it. I think it is. Certainly something to look at. I don't know. In fact, I might just call it a night here, hang out on the porch swing until it gets too dark, and head on home, I guess. So if you'd like to check out where I go next, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel. It does a lot. So thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna hang out here on the porch swing.